Skedaddle, Chapter 6, the top of page 72. All night the 140th and many other regiments behind them marched along the narrow plank road. There was no singing, the lilting, the girl I left behind. Now, as on the parade ground, there was no shouting of orders. When a courier galloped past, the sound of his horse hoofs was the only warning to make marching men give way. Charley was ever aware of the thick forest surrounding him. The memory of his first day out drumming with Silas haunted him. What happened that day? Who remembers? What was the memory that's haunting Charley? Cameron.
That when he went drumming, that Silas or Gorman told him that people died there and were buried in the woods, and they weren't all the way buried down into the ground.
Yeah, there were, different things that he could see as remnants of those men. Yeah, and would that haunt you?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you see another area that resembles that. It would definitely be spooky. How glad he'd been to be out of here. Though there was no noise, there was some over the night cry of the whippoorwill. And do you guys know what that sound is? I will play it. It's a really loud bird. I'll play it for you. How could there be total silence with thousands of men on the move? Through the darkness came the sound of skillets clanking at men's belts, a sneeze or a cough, cursing as some sleepy infantryman fell against the man ahead of him, and always the soft shuffling of feet. Around 4 a.m, Charley grew so drowsy and weary that he started to stumble against the color bearer. An officer saw this, grabbed Charley by the arm, and helped him along, then whispered an order to someone behind him, who went back at a run. Moments later, Captain Mahoney came up, trotting his horse on the front of the regiment. A long-armed soldier set Charley, drum and all, behind the captain. And from then on, the boy dozed with his arms around the captain's waist and his cheek on his back. So is Charley walking anymore? No. How is he being transported? By horse. Behind who? The captain. So can you picture him leaning against him and falling asleep? In complete, utter exhaustion. At noon, Charley's weary regiment caught up with the Union cavalry at a tiny middle-of-the-woods hamlet called Wilderness Tavern. As they rested here, a courier came galloping up to them from General Meade. The 140th and the other infantry units were ordered to leave the horse soldiers, turn west, and march down another plank road called the Orange Turnpike. Here, 1.5 miles west of Wilderness Tavern, they were to remain after they had flung a line of sentinels across that road. Follow along, please. On the top page 73. 2 hours later, Silas came over to Charley as he sat with his back to a tree beside his drum. "How are you?" Silas asked. "All right. I got a ride partway here." Charley looked around him as if at the footsore men sitting and lying on the ground beside the road, and then he looked at the closely spaced trees and said, "I want to get out of this place, though, Silas." You and me both. I hear we're more halfway out of the wilderness. I don't want to look at another tree for a whole year after we get out of here. I wonder where the rebels are. I don't know. Maybe they don't know where we are yet. I sure hope they don't. I hear tell we're supposed to stay here and hold this road for a while. How come we don't just rest a little and go on and get out of here? Gorman shook his head. Oh, the generals make the rules, Charley. I learned a while back to rest every bit I can. Eat some of your rations. I don't think we'll be making any fires now. I have to get back. Maybe I'll come and see you later on. Sure, Silas. Charley reached into his knapsack, took out some meat and hardtack, and chewed joylessly as he kept looking about. Hardtack, you think that's very tasty? It's just like hard flour and water baked together.
That's what they had. That's what it said. My brother said his dad. He said that's what
Exactly. Good connection from my brother Sam's dad. That's the same thing they had to eat. He sensed the trees, or something in them, watching him. He couldn't shake this feeling all day long. As Charley slept that night in the dark camp, he dreamed near dawn of Johnny. In his dream, the two of them fought against a howling throng of dead rabbits. He and Johnny were getting the worst of it.